Mr. Trump-tastic.
Yeah, I'm on my maggot shit. Yeah, I'm fresh to death, like I'm hopping out my casket, bitch. Yeah, I'm on my maggot shit. 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 Yeah, I'm fresh to death, like I'm hopping out my casket, bitch. Trips around the Atlas, had me ballin' like a globe trotter. Double dribble, slam dunk, I'm dripping through the paint, nigga. Yeah, I'm on my maggot shit. Yeah, I'm on my maggot shit. Yeah, I'm fresh to death, like I'm hopping out my casket, bitch. Trips around the Atlas, had me ballin' like a globe trotter. Double dribble, slam dunk, I'm dripping through the paint, nigga. Everything I touch turns to glitter, I'm a lucky charm. Fettuccine Alfredo, mixed it with the Parmesan. EBS coming in, it's ringing like a car alarm. Honey, I shrunk the kids about the size of a peppercorn. USA flag, and I stitched it with the Betsy Ross Baywatch Barbie. Then I hit her with the hasselhoff. Frog man, Oculus, I had to take my glasses off. Sammy Sosa flow, yeah, I had to change color. I'm an acrobat, flip your ass like the Ringling Brothers. Captain Planet, Superman, I'm flying through the stratosphere. I can pop your top like a soda or a can of beer. Starter man jacket had me ballin' like the Cavalier. You can catch Corona, but I'd rather have a Heineken. I had to check my watch, yeah, it's that time again. Stampin' postcards, send them off with the mailman. 50 round clips, dropping shells like Michelangelo. Ninja Turtle flow, dripping blood in your pizza sauce. Yeah, I'm so cold, I'm Santa surfing in a Pocono. Just talk to Jesus and I think I caught the Holy Ghost. George Norris swag, hell yeah, I'm going coast to coast. 3 strikes you out like Adidas with the shell toes. Bullets sound like fireworks, chopper rip like Velcro. 7 for the half, but I got it for the elbow. Red wave, cutting walk your water like the hurricane. I used to sell Grammys, now I'm stinging with the Novocaine. AMC stock, had me going ape shit. Guilty deep state while I'm going on a date, bitch. Mar-a-Lago, red chains closed, now I'm MAGA man. Backdoor deal, shoot your...
Yes, man. We back in the building, y'all. Hold tight, man. I ain't done sharing the live just yet, man. We cammed up tonight, We cam soda tonight, yeah. Can y'all hear me? I think I got the mic just right, man, for tonight's show. Yes, we are on Hypocrite Nation, man. But hold tight just 1 second. I'm going to have to share this one more time. Matter of fact, I ain't going to make y'all wait. Let's get to the video while I share it. I ain't going to make y'all... Should I make y'all wait? Yeah, I'm going to have to make y'all wait right quick.
Feel like Professor X, Iron Man. I feel like Tony Stark. Every time I step out the house, I feel radical. Plus, I'm pissed off, like my middle name is goddammit. Beanie Vici, yeah, I can make your top vanish. All seeing eye cyclops with the doctor visor. Watch me change clothes, then I turned into a top designer. Hypocrite Nation shape, shifting to a Nona water. Beetlejuice flow, creepy crawly, now I'm Spider-Man. 8 ball in the pocket, David Blaine, now you're Peter Pan. Rabbit at my top, hell yeah, I'm gnarly, man. Everything's a secret, have me dripping like the Majesty. My eyes closed shut, have me speaking Japanese. Ice cream truck paint job mixed with Ben and Jerry. Heart attack city, now I'm singing with Mariah Carey. West Bank, Gaza Strip, I'm turning up in Palestine. Last name Cupid, shoot your ass like it's Valentine. Yin Yang, symbol Fibonacci, that's a 69. Heinz 57, catch up, now it's dinner time. Hit him with the hawk, whoa, hit him with the hawk. Yeah, I feel like Professor X, Iron Man. I feel like Tony Stark, hit him with that hawk, whoa, hit him with the hawk. Yeah, I feel like Professor X, Iron Man. I feel like Tony Stark, shoot him through the drive-through. Yeah, I can take his order. Alpha with the dog food, I cut it with that Richie Porter. Jason Tatum flow, now we shoot him with the side step. Holy moly, donut shop, I whip it with the Pyrex. Yeah, yes, Indiana Jones, but I feel like Johnny Quest. Every time I step out the house, I'm the best dressed. Hit it with that hawk, then I hit it with that baking soda. Tractor trailer Bobby hit the bag, then I back it up. Red versus blue, and you know I'm just black as fuck. Hopping out your kitchen sink, I'm swimming through your aqueducts. Badass kid, whoop his ass, he just acting up. Just touchdown, holy moly, bagged a 50 count. Girls gone wild, and I think I see some titties.
Yes. We back, y'all. We back, man. Get in the building now. We about to talk about this, man. Dr. Fauci pleads the fifth. 111 times, y'all, in a row. And then all of a sudden, Johnny come lately, Stephen Smith pops up out of nowhere. 6 years later. And it's not just him, it's other people too. Other people are caught, you know, swindling people, peddling this what they call a bio. But like I said, this was also a form of the mark of the beast. Some say it was a pre-test run to the mark of the beast, y'all. They say if you got this, shit, 10 years later, you might have what they call myocarditis. Now, the thing is, let's get into Stephen A. because I think he took the he took that Wuhan virus, man. A lot of people went out bad, man. Like, a lot of people really wanted to pump that venom in you. The thing is, you can't go to school. People got to remember what happened, man. People just this is how I know slavery. When they did slavery, they just combed over it. Like I bet some people didn't even know they was in slavery. Just like 100 years from now, people go look at this shit like it was the end of the world. Mm-hmm. It's the end of the world, fam. If you know who, if 45 and 47 wasn't in the office, boy, Joe Biden would have slammed y'all down real hard. He would have slammed y'all. See, that's the thing. They still haven't, quotation mark, fully conquered America yet. But you got all these other entities moving people over here. You had the migrants come over here, infected. It ain't just the jab. Okay, people were infected. You got to think. Yeah, them migrants work. You could pay them 22 cents an hour, but shit, man, they penis might be bleeding. So you never know what you go get. They coming over here with AIDS, gonorrhea, working on farm. Motherfucking sweatshop, sweating and shit. Matter of fact, every year I've been on YouTube for a while, but I be getting kicked off and shit. So this channel has been resurrected, y'all. To be honest with you. But every Thanksgiving we do a story about the migrants. They was screwing turkeys. Yeah, they were screwing them butterballs. Screwing them butterball turkeys, and y'all kept on buying them. I said, do not go to Walmart, get them butterball turkeys. Y'all went in there and got them anyway. We got a lot of dudes. Meanwhile, guess what? MySpace supposed to be coming back. MySpace supposed to be coming back. I'm about to get on. I'll be trying to get on all these little platforms so I can share my content. Cause make sure you share and like the video. Yeah. Cash App Oxtail Mania if you want the best oxtails in town, family. Yeah, we cook over here. We got a lot of news, man. We got a lot of news. I'm gonna be on here until I get interrupted by somebody, by a kid or something. My kid, come around here. Oh, can you pick me up? No, I'm going live. Stephen A. Smith, he took the jab because look at his damn hairline. See, and the thing is, I ain't trying to give out no medical advice. I'm really not. We just trolling because we told y'all 6 years ago that this is what another Tuskegee Airman experiment. You know what they did to the Tuskegee Airmen? They infected them with syphilis. So you don't think the government go infect you with nanobites? Some of y'all bleeding out your ass right now. Can't do nothing about it. Keep on wiping your ass. Blood starts squirting out. All kind of weird shit happened to your ass because Dr. Fauci turned your ass into a damn science project, fam. And say allegedly he's responsible for the AIDS virus and HIV. But now it's VAIDS. It's called VAIDS. It's called vaccine. It's injury, something shit, but you cannot detect it. So just imagine you got the Fauci ouchie. That's what we was calling it, the Fauci ouchie. Y'all thought we was playing around. Y'all thought we was the weird ones, but guess what? Y'all for real. Let's talk about it. The thing is, if you took the Fauci ouchie, you're not technically a human. You're a fucking cyborg. You're not classified as a human being. Why you think the government don't mind erasing you or eradicating you off this damn planet? They don't want your ass here. They don't want your ass reincarnating back into another body. They trying to stop all that. Because them fresh souls that try to come down here, they getting blocked. Yeah, we could go esoteric for real. Stephen A. Smith, his dumb ass trying to run for president, and you 6 years late on this fucking shit. And you think you about to get my fucking vote? And you didn't know about this shit? Look at Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy. Let's pull up. Well, Soldier Boy said, yeah, this was him in 2021. He said, niggas been traveling party like ain't shit happening. When you catch that cowhead, we gotta call it cowhead 19. The cowhead 19, don't look at me. He was spooked out his mind. Okay, he was spooked out his goddamn mind. Soldier Boy predicted Cowhead 19 era dating with this hit record. The U.S. approaches 500,000 lives lost to Cowhead. Should I do this New York Eve party or chill because of Cowhead? He said he got his Cowhead test and it came back negative. So he got the fucking test. He don't even remember. See, this dude is dumb. Remember when we said they was putting shit on the end of that Q-tip and they was shoving it up people's fucking brain? It was breaking the blood-brain barrier. They had shit on the end of the Q-tip to make your brain fall out in your fucking coffee. They got weapons of mass destruction, you stupid son of a bitch. And you thought we was lying? Motherfucker was taking that shit and them fucking insides was turning into liquid. Yeah, for real. They was taking that shit and motherfuckers start spinning around. Remember that shit? Let's pull this up. Bro, let's pull this joint up. I ain't playing with y'all today. People was dying and they was spinning around. And I said, wow, this was right after 2020. Right after Kobe. Remember after Kobe died? Remember Kobe died? I don't know. They must have scrubbed this shit. They must have scrubbed it. If I knew I was going to talk about it, I would have definitely queued this one up. Yeah, I would have definitely queued this one up. But y'all remember, people was dying and they just start spinning out of nowhere like, golly, like a damn tornado. Motherfuckers out here spinning like this. I think I shouldn't be laughing or anything. But shit, Dr. Fauci, man, he's dirty, man. He poured, remember? He poured that acid on them puppies' heads. Let's pull this shit up. Man, y'all be forgetting how diabolical this damn character is in this simulation. If you follow, I'm gonna find that video. Look. Look what he's doing. And if y'all love animals, see, let's pull this up, fam. Y'all love animals. Y'all really not animal lovers. If you're a Dr. Fauci, you're a Dr. Fauci head, you hate animals. I love TikTok. I love YouTube. Look, puppies' heads were locked in cages with hungry, infected sandflies for tests, reportedly funded by Fauci. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Motherfucker had maggots sucking on these puppies' heads. We was telling y'all this shit. Look at this shit. They was on butt. You don't know what you did not know what was in that shit, but let's pull this joint up. Yeah, a lot of people just now figuring out they've been poisoned. And you remember when Trump told us about hydroxychloroquine and how it was very effective for a cow head? Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. He told y'all, but y'all didn't listen. And he told y'all about that horse paste. The ivermectin. You go get that ivermectin. I'm about to go get me some ivermectin because I think I got a fucking parasite in my fucking body. For real, I've been coughing up a lot of phlegm and shit. I'm about to get me some damn horse paste. For real, on God. On God. That should have fixed it. Man, guess what? They start taking that shit off the shelves once people was figuring out that shit was more effective than, that you know what? That Fauci Archie.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
President Donald Trump abruptly ended his coronavirus briefing at the White House on Tuesday after once again sharing his support for the unproven drug hydroxychloroquine.
Many doctors think it's extremely good.
And defending his decision to retweet a viral video that was removed from Twitter because it violated the social media site's policy on coronavirus misinformation.
There was a group of...
See, like I said, he had alternatives. This is what Operation Warp Speed was for. Y'all got mad because he basically sped up their process. Y'all don't give Trump enough credit. That's why I don't care. I don't really say nothing about the war. You notice me saying anything about the war? As long as he keep that shit over there, I don't give a fuck. Y'all out here complaining about weird shit. That's the damn problem. Y'all out here complaining about weird shit. As long as Donald Trump keep that shit over there, I don't give a fuck what he do. When shit start getting blown up on American soil, that's when I'll start complaining. That's when I'll start complaining because the thing is, that means we just out here naked. We ain't got no security, but how the hell we got all the security over there and we not secure on this land? That's when you'll see me say something. But shit, I don't give a fuck. Rest in peace to them damn soldiers, but that's what they signed up for. That shit, and that's what we voted for. We can see some of y'all motherfuckers be backpedaling and shit, regretting your votes and shit. And now you on motherfucking Hypocrite Nation out this bitch. You see this? Now you on Hypocrite Nation. You don't know how to stand your ground. You don't know how to go all the way. So what if he fuck up? So what if he fuck up? So what? You made the decision to go in that voting booth and vote for 45, 47. I know I did. Because guess what? Motherfucker don't like shit. They go blame you for everything. Just like we blame fucking don't he got prostate? He had prostate cancer. Now he doesn't. Yeah, Joseph Robinette Biden. He had prostate cancer. Now he doesn't.
Doctors yesterday, a large group that were put on the internet, and for some reason the internet wanted to take them down. I don't know why. I think they're very respected doctors
Trump also said he was very impressed with one of the doctors.
The woman that you said was a great doctor in that video that you retweeted last night said that masks don't work and there is a cure for COVID-19, both of which health experts say is not true. She's also made videos saying that doctors make medicine use.
You tell me he just now finding out about this shit? You tell me he just now finding out about this shit? While telling Kyrie Irving the exact opposite? He had to wait until he went and pleaded the fifth 111 times when he already been in Congress before Congress bullshitting and lying. So he had to see this shit 111 times when he already got caught lying throughout 6 years. And you mean to tell me this dude is above you? The average guy sitting on the couch that said fuck no and rebelled like a real fucking American? See, he ain't Stephen A. Smith, he ain't no fucking real American. You know why he ain't no fucking real American? Let me pull this up. Because it's just story time at this point. Golly. Let's pull up some old American history. Because I guess he don't know about this story. Smallpox was not started by the Indians. It was introduced to the Americans by Europeans. Historians believe that smallpox was likely brought to the continent in 1519 by Spanish explorer Herman Cortez. The disease had a devastating impact on native. Doesn't that sound familiar to what the fuck going on right the fuck now? They had no immunity to it. Why do you think they brought the damn serpent? Because once you worship the serpent, you get cured, right? What story is that? That's the story of Christ, right? Because they sure was passing this shit out in the church. Yes. They was giving out the snake oil in church, y'all. And they was shutting the church down. And you talking about Stephen A. Smith just found out about this shit? When they was shutting the church down? And yes, the Vatican was in on it. This is the health symbol. The Moses staff or the medical conduce. Because we about to go esoteric right now. God damn it. And the reason why we about to go esoteric is because the snake is eating his tail. This is called the Aurora Borealis symbol, but it also is the snake, or what they call Christ. Christ is the serpent in the garden. But was the serpent really trying to trick you? No. The serpent knows that you go trick yourself because you worship a god they call Yaldabaoth. And guess what? This god passes out poison in church. This God makes sure that you know the knowledge of good and evil after the fact. See, you thought you knew everything when this Wuhan virus came out, but in all actuality, you knew nothing, Stephen A. Smith, along with others. Matter of fact, this is the same God that puts fear in your heart. When they call the Greek god Pan, see, the Greek god Pan is the god of pandemonium, the god of pandemics, scamdemics, and yes, he is a horny goat, okay? And he's a fertility god. The reason why this god is a fertility god is because He wants to artificially impregnate. And what does this guy have to accomplish in today's society? The reason why this guy has to artificially inseminate is because he has to kill off the offspring. And how is this guy going to do that? Yes, by the syringe. See, the only way this guy can survive is through artificial insemination, or what they call an immaculate conception. Yes, this is a story of Christ, where in those days, the offspring was sacrificed to Moloch. Moloch is no different than, you know what, the cow head. This is why I call it cow head 19. I make my own words up because the cow head personifies the sacrifice. See, they don't kill people like they used to. It's a soft kill now. You're medically induced. This is the whole point of the Moses staff or the caduce, the serpent symbol, the medical. Let's pull up this. And they use this to trick your ass right here. Now let's pull this up, fam. That is the medical caduce right there. And let's pull this up, family. And this is the rod, or the rod of God. Hermes as well. Hermes had this on his damn helmet, or what they call the winged serpent. But this is the medical caduce right here. This is what y'all worship, ancient symbology, and they all had it. It's the medical or what they call the medi. And you see, this is the pillar. They worship this pillar. But what is that? That's the Moses. That is the Moses staff, family. If this live goes dead, we gonna reload. We gonna reload. Who's 10? Let's pull up this. Now, this medical symbol is no different than this symbol right here, or what they call the Nehushtan. This is Moses when he raised the serpent up, or when he raised the Kundalini. See, this is why Christ was on the cross. This is why he was the serpent on the cross. So when you worship Christ, you really worshiping the adversary. You're really worshiping the adversary because he comes in a serpent form. But this is Moses right here on the damn tree. Now the thing is, he raised the damn serpent like Christ was raised 3 days after, man. They call this the Moses cross, the Nehushtan and the Moses staff. And yeah, let's read. Is the biblical staff of Moses and the bronze serpent on a pole that God commanded Moses to make, which held the Israelites from the snake bites in the wilderness. But guess what? The Shaitan, see, the Shaitan is the Nehushtan, or what you call Shaitan. Who is Shaitan? Satan. But that is the snake that was on the cross. They worship the snake. Christians will tell you they worship the snake. Now let's pull this up, family. They've been doing this shit, man. Before the white Christ, before the white man they call Christ, they've been worshiping the snake. They don't. And guess what? Everybody worshiped the Nehushtan. Where did Moses learn to worship the Nehushtan from, family? Because Elon Musk, he worshipped the same thing. He worshipped the cross too. The cross. He worshipped the Nehushtan too, or who they call Jesus or Jesus. Yeah, we go real esoteric over here. But the cult of Osiris worships the Nehushtan. As you can see, the snake on Osiris' headdress as well. And Moses said he learned his ways from the damn Egyptians. You want to be honest, Christianity came from Egypt, but it was everybody was on accord through the snake. See, Satan personifies the broadcaster because he was casted out of heaven. See, y'all not ready for this shit, bro. Y'all not. Let's get back to this bald head motherfucker. Y'all not ready for this shit. Cause Stephen A. I'm way greater than Stephen A. Bro. I'm way greater than Stephen. I can give you the whole origin point behind the cowhead 19. See, they worship a red heifer, a red calf called Moloch. But he also see the thing is this God is androgynous. The reason why this God is androgynous. See, this guy got titties and ass and a penis. Okay, because there's some say God, you don't know who God is male and female. This is why this deity is so important, because he's the God of the demiurge. You don't know what side he might take form in. Okay, but that's on a lighter note. Let's get back to he's not gonna do this shit. He gonna give you fucking numbers and all this. These people not spiritual at all. He's Donald Trump way more spiritual than him. If you can't give me some type of spirituality, I don't know if he is a Mason or what. I don't know. And if he is, he's a stupid one.
Senator Rand Paul to the show, who has been an incessant critic of Dr. Anthony Fauci throughout this whole coronavirus pandemic ordeal. He has not shied away from calling Rand Paul to the carpet. Is a doctor by profession, by the way, not just a senator. Let's welcome Senator Rand Paul to the show. Hello, sir. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Glad to be with you.
Yeah, Rand Paul, he been calling this shit out too. He been had Dr. Fauci on a yo-yo for a while, for the last 7 years. But how in the hell is Stephen A. Smith just finding out about this shit? Like, he was so fucking scared because he worshiped the god Pan. And some say Stephen A. Smith is very sexually deviant too. Why you think they got rid of your boy Shannon Sharp? They get rid of Ryan Clark and all these, because they like to race bait and they like to talk about their outfits. But you can never give us the right fucking parlay. Yeah? You can never give us the right analytics because they work for motherfucking DraftKings out this bitch. Shouts out to my sports bettors out there. Anyways, let's get back to, I could be on here for hours. It's a Friday night, but I got to check in the morning. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, let's get into what Rand Paul got to say. Make sure you donate to the damn Oxtail Money Sign Oxtail Mania. About to open up the restaurant real soon. Let's get it.
Put into perspective what transpired yesterday with this hearing involving Dr. Anthony Fauci. He was subpoenaed. He did show up, but he took the fifth. He pled the Fifth Amendment 111 times. Number one, did you expect that? And if so, why?
We weren't certain.
Hey, motherfucker, you tell me you weren't certain, and you already know he got his pardon. You didn't think he was gonna come in here and give us theatrics? They trying to drag this motherfucker out because guess what? They all go make money off this shit. They all gonna make money off that shit. Big Pharma, you got all these damn health problems going on. Big Pharma gonna make money off that shit. Motherfuckers still damaged for life. neural highways all clogged up. You know, shit. Matter of fact, my wife's friend, she have a heart problem right now, and she's young too. She was fine and dandy, bro. When she took that Fauci sauce, it was a wrap. It's that shot is making your soul really want to jump out your fucking body and call it quits. And it's bad enough. This, you know, some people can't withstand this economy. It's making it for real. I'm dead serious. That shit's on the rise right now. That shit's on the rise right now. And you know what I'm talking about. I believe in Canada, you could get help with that. You want to check out? It's called assisted. You know what? And they will help you get your ass up out of here. And they go make sure you ain't go reincarnate through a what I like to call a natural womb. Let's go. The next time you reincarnate, you might end up in an artificial womb. And we did episodes off that. Go check my episode out called Designer Babies. Motherfuckers ain't coming back into no natural uterus. It's gonna be an artificial pod. And I don't know how the hell they go cipher these souls back into these, because I know once your soul leave your body, it's like Cupid. It turns into Cupid. That's the whole story behind Cupid. I could give you stories behind Dumpty. I could give you esoteric stories behind Cupid, Jack the fucking Beanstalk. Your stalk is your DNA, or what they call your Kundalini. You gotta climb up out this bitch. Just like the crabs in the barrel, you got people pulling you down because all this heavy stuff is weighing you down, and some people feel too heavy that they can't get up out their situation. And who do they call on? Yes, they call on Christ. The reason why they call on Christ is the same reason why you use the word crisis. Anytime there's a crisis allegedly is supposed to pop up like Captain Planet. But guess what? He don't never show up, but he's always on time. This deity they call Christ, or Pinocchio. Do you see Pinocchio on the cross? Do you see Pinocchio on the cross? Don't let me get loud with y'all, because I don't just sit up here on these podcasts and waste my damn time. I'm the type of dude that's going to put chills down your back. Now, why did Frogman17, aka Mr. Trumptastic, correspond Pinocchio with Christ? Now, let me pull this up, fam, because this is called string theory. This is called string theory. Let's pull this up. I got to give y'all the visuals. Do you see this right here? Because they say you are the snake. They say you are the snake. Do you see the cross right here? Or what they call the Star of David? The 6-pointed cross right here. This picture is no different than, because this star right here controls everybody. And the reason why this pole is in the middle is the same reason why there's a North Pole, or what they call Polaris. This is the pole. See, all this got to do. See, if you don't know flat Earth, right, you don't know flat Earth cosmology, you're not gonna be able to. Because from this pole right here, and you can see the magnetic ley lines pointing towards the middle, towards this pole, or what they call this magnetic mountain of New Haven. But they're basically mocking God, because God is not a physical character, family. God is a pole, a light, a beacon of light, or what they call the light pole. And guess what? Everything gets attracted or sucked into this middle point right here. Basically, you turn into a serpent. This is where you reincarnate. Your soul is a sine wave. This is what it looks like when it comes out the crown. This, what you're looking at is the crown right here. So let's pull this joint back up. Let's pull this joint right back up. Because when we was talking about Pinocchio, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me pull this up. Here's the picture I wanted to show y'all. Because y'all not privy to this knowledge right here. That's the puppet, that's the cross right there. That's why Pinocchio is no different from Jesus Christ. He's on a cross, family. And look, there go your two thieves right there. He's a puppet, and that's the hand. You see the hand? You don't never see the person. You see the hand. But what does the hand personify, family? If you look at this photo of the god Aten or the god Satan, see, the god Aten is basically Satan, Satan. Satan. This is Satanism, or Aten, or what they call Atenism. And as you can see, the sun disk with the hands coming out, or what they call the hand of God. This is no different than the puppet, because guess what? This is called your string theory. This is called string theory. This is no different than the ball with the wrist coming out. That's the crown coming out the crown. That's the ball, what they call the ball and chain effect, family. Yeah, we going in deep over here. Yeah, check in, family. Cash App, Oxtail Mania. Yeah, because we going crazy over this bitch tonight. No different than the ball and chain. You see Christ coming up out of heaven, this thing gonna suck you out like a damn vacuum. This is what these hands, they pick and choose. This is the God that picks and chooses. This is why you like it's why you like Stephen A. Smith and the next person don't. You like to pick and choose? You like to be a hypocrite? Goddamn, Stephen A. Smith is a fucking hypocrite, in my opinion. Yeah, he should be banned from fucking TV for the rest of his goddamn life. The thing is, he put people's lives in danger, family. He really did. He really sacrificed the black community. And he really threw this black brother under the bus. He should retire. He should give all his money away and go stay under the bridge. He's a fucking disgrace. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to say this, man. I just had to get that off my chest. I felt like that about a lot of people around that time. And I stayed away from for a reason, because it was so much going on around that time. You didn't know what you was gonna get. Yeah, it was almost a purge, family. Now, let's get into this sunroof top, head in the back, son of a diamond in the back, son of a bitch. They call Stephen A. Smith a fucking ass. And he's a racist too. He's a racist too. Stephen A. Smith is a racist, dude. We went over this shit too. He said that The Lakers are not going to win because they have 3 white superstars on their team. And I'll be down. I'm going to bet those white players or those black players some nights. I might, some nights I won't, but they're not completely trash because of the color of their skin. Yeah, Stephen A. think this is old fucking bastard. No, them Europeans, them Slovakians, they know they're more skilled than Negroes. They might not be as athletic, but they go get the fucking job done. I'll tell you, because Negroes is losing their skill. Okay, that's why they shipping these Negroes up out of this bitch. Okay, that's the reason why basketball players are going overseas and they coming over here. That's called a slave trade, y'all. That's called a slave. That's your modern day slavery right there. But you don't know it. It's called modern for a reason because it's not chattel slavery. You're not gonna get hit by Mr. Jeff. Okay, you're not gonna get beat by the slave master. Now you can have whatever you want, but subconsciously you just got slave traded. You on a trading block. What is the trading block? Your black ass standing on a damn soapbox, ready to be traded to the highest bidder on Wall Street. The first Wall Street was the slave. The slaves. You talking about building America? The slaves was the first impression on Wall Street. That was the trade, slave trade. So when people be like, "Yeah, man, certain slaves built America," and don't get me wrong, you had Irish slaves too. They built America too. So I don't like throwing them under the bus, but some say they had it more easier than the Negro slaves. Some say the Irish only had to work for 7 years, but the slave had to work his whole fucking life. And by the time he picked all that cotton for master, he had nothing to show for it. But he had bread, water, and shelter. Just like they do in the projects. Bread, water, and shelter. The government is slave master. So when y'all say there was only like 2% slaves masters in America, same thing with the government. It ain't a lot of them. But their fingers spread everywhere. It starts small. Just like the small hats. They start small, but they control everything. That's how you get your 2% slave owners. They are the corporations. The corporations is the dead carcass that you live in, that your soul is borrowing. That's why Christ said you ain't from this damn planet. You the alien, but they're the humans. They just swapped you out. The government already know who you are, but you don't know who you are. The CIA know who you are. Okay, but you don't know. The CIA know more about you than you know about the CIA. That's why you went in that bitch and took that motherfucking shot. And let's segue to this. This is more doo-doo. This is more doo-doo. Let me pull this up because y'all don't pay attention. Y'all don't pay attention at all. You did? What did it say?
That's fine. I'm just kidding.
Oh. Let's pull this up. This is really gonna break your heart right here.
Can I get a lighter? Hurry up.
This really gonna hurt your ass right here. Boom. We found it. We found it right here. Look, y'all. Let's pull this up because this really gonna blast your ass. Now we all know who William Shakespeare is, okay? William Shakespeare. First man in UK to receive cowhead 19 dies of stroke. Look, William Shakespeare. You don't think they cosplaying with this shit? You know who William Shakespeare is? The artist? Oh my God.
Yes.
So the thing is, the first man in UK to perish taking the cowhead 19 shot, his name was William Shakespeare too. What was William Shakespeare known for? Yeah, drawings, acting, theocracy. Who is Theo? Theo is another word for God. Yeah. And who was the god of the cowhead 19? Yes, Ram, or who they call Rama, an ancient Canaanite deity. A title for a deity known as Baal. And like I said, he's associated with fertility. What did the cowhead 19 shot do? It affected your birth. It affected their. Why do you think the United States birth rate is going down all of a sudden? Sir, because of this guy right here, Johnny Come Lately, a late or recent arrival or a newcomer or upstart. Okay? Established families tend to hold themselves above the Johnny Come Latelys. Who is the establishment family? The 2%. Everybody else is Johnny Come Lately. But some people on the bottom already knows what the 2% is up to. But those in between are sacrificial lambs. Yes. The people at the bottom that are aware of what's going on, and the people top that are aware of what's going on play double dutch with those people in the middle, or what they call the middle class. I know this one hurts, man. This one stings bad because some of y'all went along with the open thing.
Don't smoke the whole thing.
No, I'm not. So some of y'all went with the William Shakespeare. Y'all took the William Shakespeare route. On God, y'all took the King James version. Some of y'all off that King James. See, the King James, he was a sexual deviant too. Okay, so y'all got that King James version. This is the New Testament. So y'all had to take the snake oil to become Christ. Yeah, I don't think. Can you wash this sin away? You can't. You can wash the sin away, but the regret. See, some of y'all blame Christ. Some of y'all blame Christ, but can you blame Christ in court? Can you blame the devil? Can you say the devil made me do it in front of a judge? But you can say it in church. Because guess what? You hired somebody to pay for your sins. Somebody wrote this off. You can't write off regrets. See, once you die with regrets, you have to come back and reincarnate. And they're making it impossible because of this shit right here, dummy. They're making it impossible for this shit right here because the soul knows these fucking bodies are infected. So now they got to create another machine or a data center for you to go into so they can plug you into these artificial Cabbage Patch babies. Did you know that? Probably not. Did you know that was in the Epstein's files? Probably not. You didn't know that was in. Well, I said everything I said is in the Epstein's files. Matter of fact, Epstein's DNA is in these motherfuckers too. Did you know that? Epstein's some of y'all really the father of Jeffrey Epstein. After you get this, you're a product of Jeffrey Epstein. Go read. See, y'all want to. That's why I said y'all wanted to point out 45 and 47 so bad. Oh, 45, 47 is a pedo. Blah, blah, blah. But you walking around with Jeffrey Epstein DNA in your blood right now. You fucking hypocrite. This is why I made the Hypocrite Nation logo like this sometimes. Sometimes I put an all-seeing eye on it because you're cooked. You're cooked. I really don't have to go into what Stephen A. Smith said because it's going to be a waste of time. I already gave you 55 minutes. Is it any more need to entertain y'all at this point after I broke this down? Because you already know the story. That's why I don't like coming over this shit. But how come he the new dude on the block that get hundreds of thousands of views and he's 6 years later? And then while we was exposing that shit, we got our channels fucked up and everything. That's why we had to restart over again because of this shit. Why you think my channel is just now starting to grow back again? Because certain shit I said that I wasn't supposed to say at that time. People's channels got clipped. Now you can openly come out and say this shit. You fucking hypocrite. That's why the fuck I'm mad. I honestly need reparations. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm for reparations because my life got destroyed by this certain shit. I'd be in another fucking universe if my first 2 or 3 channels when they got chopped. We'd have been out of here, fam. But due to certain regulations, couldn't say shit. Still can't say shit now. It's safer because the cat's out the bag. Just like with this Nolan Wells update. Nolan Wells. You know what? Let's just can this shit. Let's just can this shit because there ain't no need to beating a dead horse. He went to Congress, in front of Congress, said this shit 111 times. I'm gonna just tell you what he did real quick. There ain't no need of fucking going into, like, some people just go into the video and string you on for 2 fucking hours talking about some shit we already exposed 6-7 years ago. Okay. So all the hypocrites could do the investigation work on their own. I just gave you the esoteric part of the Cowhead 19 Wuhan. Yes, I did. Now, let's get into the Nolan Wells update. Because they believe, Ben Crump and them believe that Mississippi has been tampering with evidence hard. And the autopsy is done. They're supposed to say something about it real soon. So let's see what this bald-headed thumbprint got to say.
That the autopsy was complete, and because media started calling us, and I know the district attorney's office, they have reached out to the family, but we did not get a chance to talk to them before the news told us the autopsy was complete. We are scheduled to have a meeting with the district attorney's office next week. Whether that means they're going to reveal the autopsy results is unknown to us, but we're certainly going to inquire because, we have been begging for transparency the whole way, and we tried to be very transparent with them, and we hope that they will be transparent with us, especially his family.
Yeah. So, Ben, can they not release information to you? Because I know that, to explain the process, because it goes to a grand jury. Now, do you know if they're going to be transparent with you or you don't, and how much you think they can or will reveal?
Well, I think they can. They can do what they want. You know, we do cases all across America. And the district attorney and the governmental authorities have the authority to release information as they so deem to release it. Don Lemon, you know, they can be transparent or they can say, well, we're not going to release anything until the grand jury. And then that means we don't know when we're going to see it because nobody knows when they're going to conclude their report. And George Floyd and Breonna Taylor cases like that where you had governmental authorities trying to be transparent, they would release information to try to build public trust. What are they going to do in Mississippi? We do not know if they're going to release it. They may say, we're not going to release anything at all until the grand jury. And the grand jury might convene.
But if the grand jury...
You said the grand jury might convene. You cut out for a second, Ben.
They can convene anytime the district attorney's office says that we've completed our investigation. It's all up to them. It could be next week. It could be 2 or 3 months. We have no control over when the grand jury is convened and when the district attorney decides to release information.
Why did it take Mississippi so long to present these results? And do you know why they've been so quiet?
Because they're trying to cover up stuff.
I don't want to speculate. I know oftentimes they would offer that they're waiting for toxicology.
Ask if you can get the neck.
As long as it did, but we hope that they will be transparent with us because as Dr. Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy at the behest of the family, Don Lemon, articulated, he shared that he would not be able to tell if the airways were obstructed, if the lungs were filled with water, because by the time he got Nolan's body, the organs had already been dissected. And so he would have to depend on the observations of the state medical examiner who would have gotten Nolan's body immediately once they recovered it.
I want to ask you, so that's the only way that you're going to know if the independent autopsy and the state autopsy, if they indeed match up with each other. So 2 questions. That's the only way you're going to know. So one would think that they have to.
And guess what? By them not giving the information to him, that's tampering. Because how is his medical examiner supposed to dispute?
We're aware that the autopsy was complete, and because media started calling us, and I know the district attorney's office, they've reached out to the family.
That's what's going on with them. Gonna segue back into that.
I thought it might happen, but I didn't know until that moment that he wasn't going to testify. I really did want him to testify and still want some questions to be answered. You know, the most important question is, should the taxpayer fund research where we take an animal virus and mutate it to become a human virus? We basically create a new virus that doesn't exist in nature, and we have the ability to do it. Scientifically, we can replace gene by gene. In 2010, they took the bird flu and they replaced 8 genes, but they made it transmissible through the air, aerosolized it between mammals, and it wasn't before. I think it makes no sense. The bird flu is about 50% deadly. If you make it more transmissible to humans, like what we think happened with COVID-19, it would be a death wish for the world. I mean, it spreads very rapidly, respiratory virus, very deadly. But the reason while we don't have a pandemic right now with the bird flu, is it doesn't go human to human. We think COVID-19 started out going human to human so quickly is because it was modified in the lab. It was pre-adapted to go human to human. And they do this interestingly with mice that have human lungs. I know it sounds kind of science fiction, but they've created mice that are basically human. When the virus looks at the lung cells, they are human. And they just culture this thing over and over. It's called serial passage until they get a virus that can infect humans. And it's a terrible thing. And Fauci knew all along what they were doing. In his private notes, he says, we suspect they might have manipulated because we know they do gain of function research. He says this in private, but then in public, he says, oh, it came from nature, and that if you think otherwise, you're a conspiracy theorist. So I wish he had answered the questions.
He has served, Dr. Fauci, we're talking about here. He's been, in a lot of people's eyes, he's a career civil servant who spent 38 years at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. They think about his years of service, and yet at the age of 85, having retired, he's on Capitol Hill, and it seemed as if you had politicians up there who wanted him in jail. And he has said he has called your pursuit of him an unhinged obsession, and that you want him in jail. Speak to that for a second, and whether or not what your feelings are about him at this particular moment in time, and what they have been since the pandemic took place years ago, so everybody will understand.
My questions, I think, have all been very serious. 1 million Americans died. About 15 million people died worldwide. Where did this come from? What is the evidence for the lab? What is the evidence for it coming from the wet market? So the other thing we learned recently from their investigation that I led was that in January of 2020, at the very beginning, he was told that the earliest cases did not come from the wet market. He acknowledges it, and he says that the wet market was likely a super spreader. It didn't originate there. It wasn't from the wild animals at the wet market. That was a super spreader event. So he knew this in January of 2020. But you've seen him on the media. For the last 5 years, he continues to say, it came from the wet market. It came from the wet market. The wet market's a problem. We need to ban and close the wet market. Why? Now, if he were just a disinterested scientist that didn't have anything to gain, you'd say, well, he's just being honest. That's his opinion. Why condemn him? But what if you also know that he funded the lab that it came from? Would he have a self-interest in protecting himself by arguing it came from nature? So he's not a disinterested observer. He's not an objective person. He's a person who, if it came from the lab, would share responsibility. So he had every reason to hide and cover up. And that's why his statements in private are diametrically opposite of his statements in public.
What about the notion that he could just say, listen, we were in pursuit of something, we made a mistake, and move forward? I mean, it would seem like, I hate to put it this way, but science is not an exact science. I mean, there's a lot of imperfections that come along with it. You're not just a senator, you're a medical professional. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't notice about you. You're a medical professional. And so when you look at it for a doctor, so when you look at it from that standpoint, it's not perfect. Imperfections come along with this line of work, one could easily argue.
Right.
Why couldn't Fauci just acknowledge that and move on?
I was open yesterday and still am open to an apology and that he wants to modify his point of view. The problem is this didn't start in 2020. It really starts in at least 2010. So he funded research in the Netherlands.
That's what we told. We've been telling y'all that. He been funding shit. He been sneaky. He been sneaky. Y'all heard what Alex Jones said? Alex Jones said some derogatory shit, y'all. I think we go segue into that as well and do a wellness checkup on Alex Jones. I don't think he like what President Trump's doing, y'all. More Nolan Wells. Arrest made in Nolan Wells case. What the fuck? Y'all want to segue into that? I don't know if it's true or not. You said arrest made in Nolan Wells case. Let's pull this up, man. Let's pull this up. Speed this up. And we using this for education only. She said arrests are made. How do you go to a comment section? It's turning out to be like a horror movie. Boycott and throw the whole state away, lock them all up. Can't trust the autopsy. GPS. The title is misleading. It sure is. That's what I thought. There was someone arrested that is connected to Nolan's Wells. We filled in the blanks and assumed. Tisha is on top of it. I hope soon they will get to the truth. The guy who was arrested made a threat to a judge. Yeah, that's the dude that was arrested. Yes, I know. I never alluded to the fact that someone who is directly responsible for Nolan's death was arrested. Yeah, they trying to save her ass. That's how you get fucking sued online. Yeah, they gonna get hit with that tampering. I want to see what she got to say because she ain't sounding right. We'll turn it. Go through some other vids.
An update in the Nolan Wells case, and this one is a doozy. There has been an arrest made. People are saying this is part of an agenda with the grand jury. On top of that, there is new information about the GPS coordinates that changes everything that you.
So with her saying that, is she basically trying to say that that whole threat to the judge was set up so they could place some barriers in case some shit pop off with this damn case?
You gotta get this pizza.
Yeah, I'll go get it. I'm about to.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm about to. I'll go get it. Hey, y'all, I'm about to go get this pizza. Did you already order it?
I'm about to put it in now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll watch it until I gotta go get this pizza. Let's get it.
You think you know. You guys, let's get into this, okay? First, let's talk about the arrest, okay? Wonders upon wonders. The FBI has not done anything to get to the bottom of what's going on with Nolan. The AG, the DA, nobody involved has made any progress. However, a man in California has been arrested for making a threat to Judge Ashley Cole. Now, I'll be real with you. The threat came from a man that was on the National Child Sex Offender list. He got on there 2 times. So you know what? Everything works in divine order. What I am saying is, I think I figured it out. And they think they're slick. You guys, just walk with me, okay? Everything hinges on silence. Nobody knows what happens to Nolan, but I think it's fair to say that it doesn't look like anybody in the position of power is doing much to find out. They are creating more narrative of the boys are being harassed, the police are being harassed, everybody's being harassed. And when I first heard that, I was like, okay. And I was like, but Nolan's mama's being harassed too. And when I first heard that, I was like, all right, so you guys are just trying to take this investigation underground, right? But hear this. Everything they said, it's going in front of grand jury. I said, but if he died of a natural drowning, why do you need to show the autopsy to a grand jury? What are you hiding? And how come you won't let Ben Crump and them have access? Okay, table that question. We'll come back to it, all right? But consider this. The police chief, with no evidence, aside from he was floating face down in the water, and that's not evidence, said it was an accident. That's not proof of an accidental drowning. So with no proof, no autopsy, no toxicology, the police chief said that. Right? Then the DA came out and said, and in between then, the governor came out in a national news conference and also on his verified Twitter and told us what? Well, I don't know anything about the case. I don't know what's going on. But from what I can tell, Nolan Wells died from an accidental drowning because that's what the police chief told me. And I said, y'all, this is pressure. This is telling anybody that might know anything, yo, hold the line. We got your back. Jackson County has your back, and the state of Mississippi has your back. Again, maybe that's not what they intended, but to this girl that's not from the South, that's what it sounded like to me, right? And then they talked about that grand jury. I do believe the grand jury was an attempt to seal all records. Now, Ben Crump got them on the okie doke and said, no, we're opening a civil trial, preserve all evidence, and now we're conducting our own investigation, as is your right when you open a civil trial into wrongful death. And that threw them for a loop because the grand jury is sealed, and that would keep a lot of evidence away from the public. However, now that Ben Crump opened that investigation, he has a right to it. All right. But listen to this, because you guys, have you noticed that as soon as they all, and again, maybe it was just an accident, but it's funny to me how lawsuit dropped within 24 hours. And lawsuit, arrest. Warren's father is suing Nolan's parents' lawyer, which is basically suing Nolan's parents, right? Because you're saying that he's doing this and he's doing that when he is going on behalf of what Nolan's parents are.
Bunch of poppycock. Yeah, a bunch of poppycock, man. A bunch of poppycock. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna say something real soon about this case. So you got Judge Mathis.
Stayed behind on the island, perhaps in the. Did all the people drinking drown with bruises on the back of their neck? How is that relevant then? Unless he fell off, then you got dozens of witnesses seeing him fall off of a boat that is near the dock because he wasn't on another boat. He stayed behind on the island, perhaps in the dock area. So what's the relevance of him drinking? He didn't get drunk and fall off in the ocean. We do know that. In someone else's boat.
Hey, let's
so that's no relevance. That's just.
Let's get into this Pat McAfee, what he had to say.
Shall we? We are very lucky that we have a chance actually to go boots on the ground here. Let's go camping, shall we? Go camp. All right, boots on the ground at Philadelphia camp is actually defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. Okay, Vic, we appreciate you for joining us. We were wondering, do you think your team's going to win the Super Bowl this year, Coach?
I'm going to be like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions.
Okay, I understand you wouldn't want to say if you're going to win a Super Bowl or not. That can certainly backfire.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of make you look like an asshole if you want to do that. Okay, well, is the defense going to be like much better or no? What do you think?
I'm going to be like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions.
What the hell?
Okay.
Why'd he come on the show? This feels. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Vic, do you think you guys overpaid for Jalen Carter, or was that the right move?
I'm going to be like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions.
What? Why is he doing that?
I don't know.
Coach, I thought like the reason why you are such a good coach because you can reach your. Tone actually has a question for you. He has an AP vote now.
That's right.
Don't be an asshole here now. He has an AP vote. Please, Tone. Maybe you can reach him.
Coach, obviously you paid Bond last year. You paid Carter. You paid Davis. Are you going to be able to pay Coop DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell? Like those are your cornerstones on the back end.
I'm going to be like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions.
I really thought because you're Italian, he was going to show you a little bit of respect. Let's go to an.
You're going to take the Fifth Amendment every fucking time, 111 times.
To mutate the avian flu in 2010. This is when the controversy began. I wasn't part of this controversy. I really wasn't even aware of this until 2021. But the controversy raged in the scientific community. A group of scientists led by a scientist at MIT started the Cambridge Working Group, and they criticized the publication of this because they said, if you publish this mutation and how you did it, it'll be a roadmap for bioweapons, and every lunatic out there that has the skills to do this will now have a roadmap as to create biological weapons. So they argued it shouldn't be published and it shouldn't be funded. Well, Anthony Fauci argued in 2010, this is way before the pandemic. This isn't like he made a mistake in the pandemic. He had a philosophic belief that this research was good. So he writes an op-ed in the Washington Post, and in that he says that even if a scientist is bitten, even if a pandemic escapes from a lab, the knowledge is worth the risks. Now, that's a philosophic position. I don't think he wants to back away. He could back away from that. But he didn't decide in 2020 to do this. He decided back in 2010. The funding of the lab in Wuhan begins in 2014. It's not a coincidence that his pardon starts in 2014 and goes forward because that's when the lab began being funded. But he philosophically agrees with this. But this isn't just me speaking. There's a scientist at Stanford by the name of David Relman. He has classified clearance. He's advised the government. He understands this science as well as Anthony Fauci or better. He looked at this experiment that Anthony Fauci funded in the Netherlands on the bird flu to juice up the bird flu. And he said it never should have happened and it never should have been published. So like I say, this debate has raged for 10 years. It was outside the circle of, the news like you and I talk about, or even what I was interested in. It was outside the circle until a pandemic occurred. And then some people say, oh, it could never happen. It's just crazy. It still could have been nature. Well, this isn't the first time. In 1977, there was a Russian flu. It was an influenza. And they're not positive exactly where it started, but they were able to sequence it. So they looked at the DNA sequence or RNA sequence of this influenza virus from 1977. You know what they discovered? It was identical to a virus in 1954. Well, how could that be possible? Because viruses mutate a little bit every month, and something that originated in 54 would be 20 or 30% different by the time you get to 1977. It was identical. And the conclusion was it had to have gotten out of a lab. And they had vaccines for this virus. There were a handful of labs that had it, and somebody was working with it, and it got infected or infected somebody, or an animal bit somebody and it got out of a lab. It went worldwide. The reason you haven't heard about it, or probably haven't heard about it, is it had no death rate. It was a influenza, and maybe somebody died, but it wasn't like COVID where millions of people died. But these accidents happen. Labs are not perfect. But you add to this that this happened in China, where their labs were not at the level of our labs. Their labs had never been inspected. Anthony Fauci was asked, did your laboratory inspectors go to China before you sent the money? You knew they were doing dangerous research there. Did you go and inspect their lab? Did you ask them and ascertain what kind of experiments they were doing? So this isn't about, look, I didn't even know who Anthony Fauci was before 2020. I know he'd been prominent in certain circles here, but I just didn't know who he was. When he first came before him, I had nothing against him. I still have nothing against him personally. But I do think that there has to be responsibility for who makes the decisions on funding and whether it's dangerous or not. And if he's still not willing to admit it's dangerous, then what if his friends and his colleagues are in charge again and they start funding this?
Yo, his black ass in trouble.
Please welcome.
They're both in trouble. They are both in trouble, y'all. Let's get into it with this video.
We are in the midst of the worst pandemic in 102 years.
Why do you think that you are the target of so many accusations about covering up the source of COVID-19?
I don't know what they're talking about covering up. I have been totally transparent. We did not fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Anyway, so let me just go on about NIH funding gain-of-function research.
Through EcoHealth to the Wuhan Institute.
Research to create enhanced potential pandemic pathogens.
Some of these viruses will be killers.
The NIH categorically has not funded gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute.
NIH in funding risky virus research in Wuhan.
It is not gain of function.
Then why was he using the phrase gain of function to describe this work earlier in that email?
I mean, we're an open book. I mean, we have been all along.
Then why was the email inexplicably redacted?
Did NIH fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology through EcoHealth?
Yes, we did.
Dr. Fauci, can you address these concerns that this virus was somehow man-made?
There's a study recently where a highly qualified evolutionary virologist looked at the sequences there.
Dr. Fauci gets an email from Dr. Anderson which says, virus looks engineered, virus not consistent with evolutionary theory. Dr. Gary sends Dr. Fauci another email that says, I don't know how this happens in nature, but it would be easy to do in a lab. 3 days later, they changed their position 180 degrees. When the only intervening event is a conference call with Dr. Fauci, and then 3 months later, they get $9 million from Dr. Fauci.
And I'm not sure what they're talking about when they say cover up is totally consistent with a jump of a species from an animal to a human.
Why did you dismiss the lab leak theory?
I didn't dismiss anything. I just said
I've heard these conspiracy theories
And like all conspiracy theories, they're just conspiracy theories.
Called it conspiracy theory.
I never use that word. It's conspiracy theories.
What is your response to questions about the Chinese lab in Wuhan?
You know, we always keep an open mind, but you know, you could continue to pursue and tweet conspiracy theories. But let's look at the science. We know exactly what we can do and what we should be doing. Please wear a mask. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. I often myself wear 2 masks.
There's an email from you concluding, I do not recommend that you wear a mask.
Everybody should be wearing a mask when they're outside. People should not be walking around with masks. I wear a mask when I'm outside. You don't need a mask when you're outside. Wear a mask at all times when you're outside. So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. If you are vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask.
Dr. Fauci, thank you for your clarity.
If you wear a mask, you can decrease the likelihood of transmitting or acquiring COVID-19 by 50, 60, 70, maybe 80%.
I said masks work at the margins, maybe 10%.
You're a master communicator.
Wear a mask all the time, consistently. When you're outside, it's not like I always wear one, always wear a mask. We do not recommend people wearing masks. Children should still wear masks. At least one mask. You don't need to be walking around with a mask. Absolutely. We should have universal wearing of masks. Mandating masks, yes, let's do it. If it doesn't happen nationally, then I think that the mayors and the governors should do it.
Mask mandates did nothing.
Forget the politics, look at the data.
Mask mandate states fared no better than states without mask mandates.
In hindsight, though, when you look at this, do you think the mask mandates were a mistake?
You know, Caitlin, I don't want to say a mistake, but I think we really need to remember.
This high school student ended up in handcuffs after she refused to wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
A man was removed from a SEPTA bus for not wearing a mask.
Just wear a mask.
Ohio woman tased after refusing to wear a mask.
Wear your mask.
Not wearing a mask. This is what they do to you.
Make sure you have a mask.
Where's your mask at?
Wear a mask.
Get your hand up now.
Follow the science.
The officer body slamming a woman when she refused to wear a mask.
Based purely on the science.
They were yanked out of a school board meeting after refusing to wear masks.
Wear a mask.
She's in jail over a dispute on whether or not to wear masks.
Wear a mask.
She was walking without a mask.
Everybody should wear a mask.
She was told to wear a mask but refused.
You gotta wear a mask.
And a mother is arrested in front of her young child.
You should be wearing a mask.
Do you wear a mask when you're not on television?
Well, you know, my life is pretty different. I can say as a public health official that I would urge the leaders, the local political and other leaders in states and cities and towns to be as forceful as possible in getting your citizenry to wear masks. Be as forceful as possible.
Forced out in handcuffs.
Wear a mask.
I'm being arrested because I refuse to wear a mask.
Masks are very important.
Are you joking right now?
This is America.
You should be wearing a mask.
He was tased in front of his wife and child.
Guided purely by the science.
That 66-year-old handcuffed because he didn't wear a mask.
Look at the science.
There is just no evidence that masks, make any difference, full stop. The N95 masks, surgical or cloth masks, makes no difference.
Okay, then why was I wearing a mask for so many times?
Policymakers to impose mask mandates were convinced by non-randomized, flawed observational studies.
But there's nothing to indicate that wearing a mask has deleterious effects.
It does have costs. I can't count how many parents have called me and said, look, my kid can't wear a mask. It's really hurting. Or parents telling me that their kids didn't learn how to read or have verbal problems as a result of the masking. It has costs. It absolutely has harms. And there's no evidence of working.
And you mean to tell me this son of a bitch missed all this? And said he wants to apologize? He should be fired and stripped of his license. Like, the government could really drop the hammer on a lot of people, y'all. The government could drop the hammer on a lot of people. But I think they know if they lock everybody up, it'll just be The Truman Show, basically. Yeah, let's get into it.
Obviously, children who are older than 2 years old should be wearing a mask.
Mask mandates for children under 5.
And going back to what I said before, all of that is in the context of, at the time, 4 to
Mask mandates for children
5,000
under
people a
5.
day
There's
were
scientific
dying.
evidence for that.
Excuse me?
Mask mandates for children under 5. There's scientific evidence supporting that.
There was no study that did masks on kids before. You couldn't do the study.
Children of a certain age, greater than 2 years old, should be wearing masks. No doubt about that.
Children should be wearing the mask.
They were kicked off a plane because their 2-year-old wouldn't put on her mask.
Have the children have masks.
Her family was also kicked off the flight.
My son was eating French fries boarding the plane and he didn't have a mask on.
It is really not prudent to pull masks off children.
When the children go out into the community, you want them to continue to wear masks.
Mom is told to get off a flight because her 2-year-old would not wear a mask.
Children should be wearing masks from 2 years old.
You're dealing with science.
2-year-old with asthma thrown off a flight for not wearing a mask.
Stick with the science.
Disabled 10-year-old kicked out of the market for not wearing a mask.
Should children be wearing masks?
Yes.
A little girl suspended for not wearing her mask.
Keep everybody masked.
Police were called over the child's face mask.
Wear a mask.
If you're not wearing your mask, you will be
You
suspended.
really should be wearing a mask.
And the best way for me to prevent getting an infectious disease is wearing a mask.
No.
How do you do that?
You avoid all the paranoid aspects and do
Okay.
something positive. Get some exercise.
That's correct.
Get good sleep. I think that the normal, low-tech, healthy things are the
Okay.
best thing that you can do, David, is stay
All
healthy.
right. Well, I'm going to try to do that.
So that was the reason for what is considered inconsistencies about recommendations of wearing masks.
CDC is advising all Americans now to wear a cloth mask. Why the change now? Because most of us have been walking around, going to the grocery store, not wearing the mask because that was the original recommendation.
Well, we have to make sure we don't forget that the most important thing is to keep this 6-foot physical distance from individuals.
However, you testified recently, and I'm quoting, this 6-foot rule sort of just appeared.
Staying 6 feet away from people.
This 6-foot rule
Staying 6 feet apart.
crippled businesses,
Maintaining 6 feet of distance.
allowed students to stay at home and not learn.
So important. Maintaining distance of 6 feet or
Do
more.
you think that a rule that sort of just appeared is substantial justification for the regulations that we saw based on that 6-foot rule?
6 feet apart. The CDC was responsible for those kinds of guidelines, not me. I would recommend doing what the CDC, as I think appropriately and correctly said, staying 6 feet away. The perfect solution to this is if everyone stays 6 feet separated. 6 feet away. Stay 6 feet apart. 6 feet distance. 6 foot distance. 6 feet apart. 6 feet away. 6 feet away. That's our most important tool. It had little to do with me since I didn't make the recommendation. And I think we should just follow carefully the CDC recommendations. We must abide by public health measures. The usual 6 feet apart. Very important. 6 foot distance. Stay 6 feet apart. A 6 foot rule. It actually came from the CDC, not me. But I would recommend 6 feet of distance.
We'll be ready in like 12 minutes.
Hey, y'all, they remember they said 666? Remember that shit? Yeah. They said you had to stand 6 foot away. 6 feet up in the air, feet up in the air. Yeah, he was on butt. Dr. Fauci was on ass. He was lying right to Trump's face, but Trump was letting him hang himself. So I don't know if the auto pen. See, the auto pen. See, the thing is the auto pen. It's complicated because Trump was talking about upholding the auto pen. Did y'all know that? Go check that. Go check the stats. Because he gonna need that auto pen to get out of his shit. So some of that shit that the deep state was doing, Trump is adopting it and just putting it on steroids and just using it in his favor. Because you gotta think, whatever they do, they can do because they got dirt on the other. They just do it. You know, Allegedly, they trying to say they do it with class, or are they doing it a little bit barbaric? I say both. I say both. I say both. It's barbarianism. Barbarianism. That's what we call it. Yes, and they also do it with class. Crazy, ain't it? That's just the nature of the beast. That's just the nature of the beast. The reason why I said that is because they was passing it around in church. Snake oil. And guess what? You took it. Now you got to go see Christ. Oh God. Oh Jesus. See, the thing is, Jesus is the devil. Jesus was the devil. Remember? You can't go here because you didn't get the Fauci Archie. That means I heard people say you don't love Christ because you didn't get the shot. So the shot was allegedly supposed to save lives, just like Christ. But it was doing the exact opposite. Because, like I said, the medical symbol and the snake caduce is Christ. Christ is a healing God. What did the, you know what, do? The Cowhead 19? It allegedly was supposed to heal people. But the thing is, heal is really hell. Because that's your lower nature. Your heel, your foot, that's your lower nature, your lower half. Heal is hell. So basically, you got to go to hell to be resurrected to make it out the crown chakra, family. But the shot was to get your soul up out the damn body. That was the whole resurrection story within itself in their agenda, because they was gonna resurrect these new bodies. Because the thing is, bro, after you pass on, your body gonna tell you, your soul gonna tell you how you left this earth. It's gonna do a whole replay until the end. So your body's gonna tell you, your soul is gonna tell you where you fucked up at and why you're not here anymore. And the thing is, when you reincarnate, you're gonna have regret on your mind. You're gonna try to relive and reset again into these new bodies. But these new bodies are gonna reject. It's not gonna, because the thing is, you left Earth contaminated. You left it a wasteland. So these new souls can't get into these affected bodies. That's the blood. That's the sacred bloodline, the esoteric bloodline. Or the bloodline of Jacob or Yakub. They have a different story than us real people. These are artificial inhabitants that create other beasts in the field that will obey. They're creating another slave race. And like I said, Jeffrey Epstein is in these vials. Jeffrey Epstein was in the Cowhead 19 shot. Let me repeat it one more time. Jeffrey Epstein DNA. So if Jeffrey Epstein's DNA was in that you dig, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein is your father. And you, sir, are not considered human anymore. You basically are a cyborg. HR 989. HR 592 out this bitch. But y'all, now you barcode, man. Now you barcode, man. You can order pizzas off the back of your neck now. Just swipe that bitch. You artificially inseminated, or what they call an immaculate conception, family. This is what this is all about. This is their religion. They basically did a body swap, because the thing is, how do you get the soul up out the body? This is what they've been figuring out for a long time. Without hammering your fucking head in, how can they get the soul out the body? Through the blood of Christ. And what did they do? Infect your blood? Gave you myocarditis? That's the blood. That's the life support right there. The blood is infected. Humanity is infected. They talking about they can't even do blood transfusions out this bitch because of this shit. You got dirty blood just floating around. Like I said, man, if I ever bleed out, just let me the fuck bleed out. I don't want nobody's blood. You got pathogens all infected. America's infected. To be honest with you. America is infected. More than what you know. Souls is coming more. See, the thing is, in this time in history, the most time in history, more souls left than what came in. They're making this planet docile. That's the whole point of the 144,000 family. I told you there's an agenda. Damn, man. I've been speaking for a long time. And guess what? Y'all didn't get none of that. Y'all didn't get none of that. I'm about to get off here. I was speaking for too long, and I wasn't even in on the damn. Yeah, we getting off here. We out.